Okay, welcome everybody. It is Money Talk Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here with Megan Dolly, my virtual CFO. And I have to tell you, I always get excited on Tuesdays and a little anxious but talking about the money. But you know that I'm all about making sure service-based entrepreneurs, including interior designers and coaches and service providers, are profitable. And part of being profitable is not burying your head in the sand and not understanding your numbers, which is why we're doing Money Talk Tuesday. So, Megan, tell everyone what we're talking about today.
Today we're talking about decisions, like using the numbers, the objective numbers, to make decisions that maybe you've been avoiding and it's hurting you.
Yes, it's definitely hurting. And when we did our pre-show chat, one of the things that I recalled is one of my clients who I love, still work with. There was a point where they had to make a very difficult decision to no longer have a family member work for them. And that was brutal, but it all came after working on service models and the profitability of each of those service models. But then, okay, now let's look at the numbers and realizing this business could not support two people.
Yeah. In all honesty, that was probably the hardest conversation I've had to date in my career. I mean,
Yes.
Beyond like personally having to fire people or whatever it may be, that was probably one of the most difficult conversations that I've ever had. And frankly, I didn't know if she'd do it. And I was so impressed with her when she did.
Yes, me too. And it was heart-wrenching because it's someone that they felt very responsible for, not responsible meaning they just wanted to do it together, right? But it's something that at the time the business couldn't support. And in making that decision and a couple of other very difficult financial decisions for this interior designer who works with me, it's amazing how the business has turned around by freeing yourself of some of these financial burdens that you've gotten yourself into, not purposefully, but it just sort of happens when you free yourself of it. Right? It was like, oh my God, it's crazy.
In some of these things, you cannot move forward in your business until you take that step back. You like it's the thing that is blocking you from making any progress because you are spending so much mind time and so much like just hustling and worry and on these conundrums that your business has no chance of growing without making the hard decisions.
Right. And this was a client who came to me who had like a steady flow, but each of the service models were not profitable. And that's where you have to start. Each of your service models have to be profitable. And then it was like, okay, the expenses in the business were higher than what the business sales were able to sustain. And then after making these hard decisions, can I tell you, they had their biggest month ever this month. Actually, it was last month. Is it this month? I think it's this month. I mean, literally, when I heard the numbers, I was like, what? Like, this is incredible, right? So they've been working with me for probably thinking a year and a half. And these tough decisions, making these necessary financial decisions did exactly what you just said, Megan. It released them of all this anxiety and this responsibility they were feeling that they couldn't do anything different because of this burden, and releasing it just changed everything.
Part of that burden is being able to articulate what the burden is, right? We know the feeling, we know the anxiety, we know the ugh that's coming with it, and like, what do I do? But until you're able to point objectively at the problem, because the numbers are showing you objectively without the subjective, the feelings and the emotional ties and the responsibility, all those things that make things subjective, that taint your decisions. When the numbers can objectively point to this problem here, look at this, what it is costing you ultimately, it's very freeing. This last week, actually a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to work with a woman, and she came back She texted me 2 days ago, and I just wanted to cry. It was so beautiful what she wrote. She was like, I was slowly sinking, and I didn't know why I was slowly sinking. And now I have this freedom to be generous. That was the word she used. Now I can be generous with the way she's always wanted to be generous in her business, with her clients, and with her family, just because we were able to point at what the problems were. And kudos to her. She made some hard decisions too. Um, and she implemented them, and it worked. So it's not that the numbers do the hard work for you. Ultimately, the buck still stops with you. Ultimately, it's still your decision, and you still have to take sometimes very hard action, but they
Yes.
point to what that action needs to be so you can stop throwing that spaghetti.
And it's so true. It's like when you look at something and you say to someone, like, one, you may have to shut down your physical location. Your business is not, paying for itself. It's not. It's this big elephant in the room that has to go away. And it's been a dream your whole life to have this physical location, but you're not making it work. Or this is what you do need to do to make it work, and that's not possible right now due to current economic environments, or it's like not always within your power, which is what some people feel like, that burden. I should be able to have made this work. I should have been able to make this work. And sometimes it's just not possible with what you've been given at that time.
I think you said the key thing there, not right now. Maybe we need to back away from that dream right now, and we can still have that as part of our vision, but let's get it to a point. Let's get this other part to a point where it can support that vision instead of everything just slowly death by 1,000.
Right. But I think what happens is with service-based entrepreneurs, with creative entrepreneurs, most people are just so giving and kind, and they just want to be everything to everybody, and they have dreams and they go after them, and maybe it didn't work out exactly the way. That doesn't mean failure. That means, actually looking at the numbers and then making the hard decisions actually makes you a success, not a failure. Even if that means getting rid of an employee that you have to get rid of, or closing down a physical location, or changing your service models that you thought would be so perfect, yet it's just not working out for you. It's part of the entrepreneurial journey, being able to change and morph. And, the pivot is overused, but it's true. Like sometimes you just have to pivot.
Yeah.
And the numbers will tell you why you have to do it, and normally point to exactly what you have to do. So not being afraid of your numbers and being able to dive into them, which is what I help you with, what Megan helps you with, is important, right? So if you're struggling in your business, look at your numbers first.
Amen.
And that will point the way. So anyway, so we were here to talk about making the necessary financial decisions after you've taken your head out of the dirt and really looked at your numbers, or have some assistance in doing that. So if you're struggling with being profitable, that is what I'm here for. That is what Megan's here for. So let us know, and we can help you out, right? Help you make those tough decisions, right? Absolutely. That's why I call, my business name is actually Your Business Partner, because I'm the one who ends up making the tough decisions and telling everybody exactly what they need to do, right? Same as you. And you're like, okay, hey, everything's looking great. I know you're happy, kind of, sort of, but you need to make these tough financial decisions.
Or this is where you're not happy, and look, the numbers are showing you why you're not happy.
Good points. Absolutely. So, all right, everyone, this was Money Talk Tuesday. I hope this helps somebody today. If you need me, reach out for a consult from my website, and let's get you being profitable, because isn't the goal of being in business to be profitable, not just do this as a hobby because you love what you do?
Yes, I believe that is the point. Mm-hmm.
That is the point. That's the point of being an entrepreneur. So anyway, all right. So we will talk to you next Tuesday for Money Talk Tuesday. If you need Megan, tell them where to find you.
Hop on over to megandolly.com and make an appointment. I'd be happy to chat with you.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.
Bye.